Hello, and welcome to another pre-recorded match I had that I recorded actually on the morning we made port with the crews to come back. So I did have some internet earlier in the morning when I have time. So here's this wall. He's got some decent stuff. He's got Ray set. He's got Malgus, the usual suspects, LV. I'm going to go after Lord Vader first using my standard Ray counter. Although for next round, I might be trying out the Tarkin lead with Vader because I watched a good explanation from Skelterix about how that works. And defense down stacks for some reason, even though it doesn't indicate it. So who knew? I never would have known that if someone didn't point it out. I don't know how I would have discovered that. But if you keep it going a while, I can see his stats there. If you keep it going a while, you can do a culling blade on Lord Vader and Royal Guard, just like they had a million dots, but it's just from defense down coming from Tarkin's lead. You don't need water or anything, so it's good, but you just need Sortie to keep Vader under stealth. So here we go, pretty standard battle by now. Not too worried because there's a R5 Royal Guard, and I wasn't scared of the level 9 bonus. So yeah, R5 Royal Guard really goes down way faster than R9. Like it's night and day. And I know I have R5, but I just can't spare the stuff right now. I am going to get Grand Inquisitor soon, and then going to get Java after that. I pretty much have the gear. I think my bottlenecks are just signal data, and then also getting the last shards on the new Hut Cartel characters. So this one's going pretty smooth. I always like using basic because it does more damage than the first special with dash when it's just Lord Vader. I did not. Oh no, I already did the Whistling Birds, I guess. But yeah, this one I think it comes pretty close, and I think Dash might die and Queel might die, if I'm remembering correctly. So it does come down to the wire. I think, yeah, like I was pretty nervous doing this battle. Just watching Dash do his little tickle there. 29 dots, it adds up. That's like 400 damage per dot, so it's like 12,000. It's like a basic from someone. And the dots trigger the 20 stacks of Whistling Birds there. Again, the ultimate to save Bam's life. Couldn't save Dash or Queel. He's not healing up as much from the AoE because it only does 1 damage, and he's only healing via Health Steal there. But Ray finishes it off with the ultimate. I was pretty nervous about that one. I was like, oh, come on. First battle after vacation, and it's not going to work. But yeah, this Ray is modded it's modded pretty well. It's got a pretty good datacron. A lot of extra survivability. The armor isn't going to matter as much with JML. But yeah, in this round, I didn't get the ability block on Ray, so that's unfortunate that if you get the ability block on Ray and you go first, it makes it a lot easier because you can take out the resistance Zero Bros pretty fast and also JTR pretty fast. But yeah, like because of the extra protection, Finn was able to survive. And I used Mace in this lineup. And also Shock T, probably because I just like swapping the turn meter. Mace is just awesome in general. I really love using Mace. He's R6. I want him R7 so I can use him in round 3 of TB, which is kind of like the max my guild is going for on the light side. We go up to the R8 zone on the neutral, and we play that, and the R8 zone in dark side, but we don't do anything there. So Mace would help out. And right there, I'm just trying to get the inspiration off so that she is not gaining mastery from turn meter gain, which is naturally happening a little bit from the special ability from JML. But if you get rid of the inspiration, you can spam that ability with Hoda and then heal up your team. So that was kind of the objective there. But now it's just the last two. And pop the ultimate and do the balancing act between them. That takes Ray under half health, and then Ben is vulnerable. Although I didn't have him in damage immunity yet, probably could have started working on that sooner. I just want to keep Ray ability blocked there. Now I gotta work all the way down through that health again. But it's going pretty smooth. I want her down to really low health before I just get Ben, because Ben will just kind of fall over. And Ray will not. So if Ben's still alive, Ray can't die, but she can get down to like 1 HP. So pretty big hit. Yeah, you know, kind of scary. Everyone almost died. Try to take. I don't know if he comes back. JML's so fast that he cycles back and revives Ben a lot, unless Ray is really close to dying. So you really want to kill Ben with the leader, and then Ray with someone not the leader. So 61, you know, it's okay for that team. Wasn't 100% dodge, so I wasn't as worried about it, and they didn't have dash. Because they've used a full dash team, which you see here. He's modded pretty well. He's got some extra armor penetration, so he's going to do pretty high damage. But when I looked at the stats, C Watt was had pretty good success rate. But it actually does not go as well as I was thinking it would. Not going to spoil anything, but it's kind of a tight match. I think it's this one that was, yep. Okay, so he almost died there. And good thing dash is linked because he can't crit, but still I think it's even a couple more times where he gets really low. And I have my Sith Eternal modded for speed and health. I tried the pure health, and there were a lot of times where I would have won if I just took another move or so. So I moved to more of a speed build with health focus for the primaries and secondaries. But this one just got way too close for comfort for me. I do the link again to try and just heal up protection, even though these are the guys I'm going to annihilate. But I really want to just heal up some here. So I hold off again, recover the protection. He does that, and I feel pretty good to pop the ultimate now. This one was just a nail biter as far as Sith Eternal staying alive. And there, yeah, that's the whole match. No hope for them after this, but just draws out a little bit more because of Nest and Queel, Vandor. You got to take out Vandor first. The other two. And that's it. 65. So perfect banners for a full squad. And here I'm going in with Bounty Hunters against this Raddus team. He's got an offense set, but it's still extremely fast. That's really fast for an offense set. And you know, I really like when I one-shot Lord Vader, not because, I mean, obviously you want to one-shot stuff, but having Bounty Hunters as well is very helpful. And with the Retribution starting out, that was pretty sweet. It just countered Bays to death. If you see, Fennec has had 10 exposes there. Some of them dropped off. But she had like 4 when she got hit. So if it was 10, I think she'd probably die. But I opted for that assist call there because just wanted the contract. And Raz is already at 60 stacks of that, but I was waiting for the Annihilate. And it's pretty easy after he goes down. You still got to be careful about the exposes, but still just pretty simple. Also in a match that I wasn't able to record because of software issues, I accidentally used Bosk lead against the Gallant Lord Vader, and it still worked because he was the lone guy there. I still got the contract, but it was just a really harebrained mistake because I used my presets. I had set for defense. Okay, so yeah, this is just kind of a circular mirror match, but not really, because his is built around Savage, and mine is built around EP Mara. I prefer this one. You know, I guess you could get good use out of EP Mara as well anywhere, especially with the cooldown reduction. They can just cycle, and Starkiller isn't... You know, he's not playing as much of a role. He does speed her up. There's a lot of passive powering up here, but like as soon as Mara gets a turn, she can just toss the grenade over and over. And this is just honestly one of the most fun teams to use. I hope Dr. Aphra is just as fun, but it'll be a while before I get her. I'm starting to slow farm the murder droids, but it'll be a while because I still need to gear up Grand Inquisitor and then get Jabba after that. And after that, I don't know. I might have some Relic 7 hygiene to do, but because now R5 isn't good enough if you're trying to do just territory battle. But it's not hugely important. The waves aren't that much in the way of GP for the TB. So I'm not sure what I'll do there. But yeah, just Savage is the last hurdle to leap over here, and he has so much defense and health recovery and everything. He dispels buffs. His health just never seems to go down. So I'm basically just waiting for the Star Destroyer, because that should be enough to kill him. And yeah, 129k. He does not have more than that much health. I got a little bit of lag because my internet was a little spotty. They're just standing there. 65. Pretty happy with that. And checking out the back, got Mon Mothma Hux, Sortie. So when I see Mon Mothma, it's just kind of easy pickings for Iden. So I just go in, select that, and find the grip one I want to use. Could have used the better grip one I have, which is level 9, but I thought I hadn't done... when I'm just doing it on my phone, I can't just sit down and write out. I don't... Maybe I could, but like I don't sit down and write out, okay, I want to use this for this team, this for this team, so I'm just kind of winging it. So I wasn't sure if I needed Imperial Troopers or not. Well, this is a pretty safe match. It can be a little time consuming because it just goes so slow. Once you get one character down, you can just death mark with Death Trooper, and it's pretty easy from there. Yeah, I used the basic there. I like getting out Scout first because he's the biggest instrument in the turn meter train, and then POW instead of just going straight for Kyle Katarn. And I kind of... Yeah. That was probably a mistake, death marking him when he had so much turn meter because it just fell off, but he got countered to death. And Death Trooper couldn't assist with that special debuff there. Force Influence, I believe it's called. And Zombie. Kyle Katarn coming back. Get the Dispel. I love when I can land the Death Mark on her because she is very annoying with her reviving. Okay, there we go, 65. Love to see it. Then we got CLS versus gas. Yeah, so I had already set the Eternal. So I wanted to make sure I saved CLS. He's got some good boosts there, some decent armor, extra protection, crit damage. But I picked one with a lot of armor, so I figured I could survive against General Skywalker. And let's see how that theory goes. So yeah, just go straight at him, exposes, do most of the damage since he has some good armor on him. And then also Chewie's true damage. Gotta cycle through as fast as possible. Yeah, opted for the AoE, trying to get as much damage as I can. I want to keep Rex under control. And the thing here is just racing. Can we get through all the clones before he stands up? And no. So we gotta withstand a couple barrages, this one, and then the next one after he gets up and he's in non-crittable mode. But he is counterattacking like a madman, just really whittling me down little by little. But this with armor comes in handy. I know his basic doesn't do as much damage anymore. But he's only doing like 10k per hit there. On Han at least, when he's not critting. So I wanted some extra protection. So I did the blind. I knew he was going to die soon anyway. I could have done call to action there, honestly. But it worked out. Anyway, not super pretty banners. Was one if it ever shows. 61. So drop 4, but it's still a gas team, so it's hard to get by. The key is just to get by at all. And I kind of have an embarrassment of riches left at this point, as far as my team's left, so taking him JMK versus this Malgus team, just to make it easy. And after this, I think I have like a Supreme Leader Kylo solo team, solo match or something. Or maybe it's not a solo, I can't remember. Yeah, I do, because he didn't bring any Sith Empire, or the full Sith Empire with his Malgus. He just figured he was going to draw some good either way, and he might look at this battle log and think, my opponent is like almost 10 million, by the way, so it's bigger than me, but not way bigger. So he might look at this and think, it's a win. I drew out JMK for this Malgus team with crap additions. But really it's just because I had so much left and I wasn't worried about anything else, so this was just the simplest way to go. However, this could work. It could be a good move in other situations, get someone, but I just think if you look at the battle logs and see that I use JMK, it's a little misleading about how effective it is at drawing out good teams. And he's got his kind of traditional Sith Empire here without Malgus, which is pretty easy for Supreme Leader Kylo to take out. I got tons of health on him, extra crit damage. Also the ramping offense. So it works pretty well. Just siphon. Everyone's almost dead. Naturally, I get kind of antsy when I lose protection and it's down to health, but for Kylo, like Rey and Kylo specifically, they have way more health than protection. At least how I have Kylo modded right now. And I was hoping that healed me up enough, and it looks like it did. 68. So we got through the front 2 walls, got a couple left on the back, and up top, what does he have? He has almost the same lineup that JB said. So pretty tough. Profundity and Executor. I think I do the same thing, and let's see if it gets the same results or it goes a little bit better this time. So yeah, this team has potential. I mean, they're just running around in circles, but they're not doing as much attacking. It's just kind of like speed up all the time, and like turn meter. But Hux with the Phasma Datacron and First Order TIE Pilot Omicron is not a bad team. It's pretty scary, and I couldn't use like my own against it because crew is there to pre-taunt. But Bad Batch, they were able to withstand that initial frenzy. Not much of it in the way of attacks frenzy, but just turn meter frenzy, and then get going and make it easy. I don't know why I didn't do the whip there. But yeah, now it's just a matter of taking out crew. He's got healing immunity on him, so it will happen. And I hope I healed up a little bit. 64. So I dropped a banner. I think if I did the whip, I wouldn't have. So here, I just had Sortie left. I'm kind of showing what I have left. I mean, a lot of stuff there you're seeing isn't as good, but I do have a lot of stuff left. And kind of what goes on in my head is when I have so much left over, I feel like I'm wasting something, so I want to use as much as I can. So I took Darth Vader here with some Imperial troopers, because I felt like, oh, this way I'm wasting the least. You know, I got some good characters, got Moff Gideon, I got Piet, and then used GBA as an extra pre-taunt, pre-taunting tank, but it wasn't a good idea. Vader's almost dead there, and he's ability block. He gets a turn, but the ability block landed. I could have used, like, I don't know, a tenacity datacron, but this one was over. I just was like, okay, I need to back out, put it in airplane mode. But I got to turn on Piet, so I just backed out. Didn't feel like force closing the app because I'm impatient. And then this is what I just should have done all along. Took in Jedi Knight Revan. It's much safer and much higher banner potential, but I just listened to a bad instinct that said I don't want to waste Darth Vader and his super datacron. Because, I mean, this team's no joke. If they land the debuffs, they start hitting like crazy damage. But Jedi Knight Revan mitigates that with tenacity up at the beginning, and then you have the savior mechanic. You got all kinds of stuff to prevent disaster from that initial attack. So his BB-8 came back, so they no longer have that revive in their back pocket. And just working through. Won't be too long before we can really take the lid off this one and finish it off. But definitely in the driver's seat. Now I can move on to the weaker damage dealer. Take them out fast. Now R2. Is my next target, I think. Yep. Also, Jedi Knight Revan is perfect to go against Sortie because he blocks that buff immunity on her, so she can't get that protection up all the time. And Bastila also has the buff immunity. It doesn't need to be locked, it just needs to get on there. And she's gone. This BB-8 is just like really stubborn. Alright, I didn't expect Revan to hit for 50k on that, but 45, that would have been a 65. So, poor choices, guys, poor choices. And now we got Executor versus Profundity. I hope this goes the same as against JB, but looking kind of tight there. Just a couple more hits and Razor Crest would have been a goner, and I wasn't focusing here. So I was used to Millennium Falcon being in the middle, and then I was like, wait, what happened there? I should have just gone ahead and finished off Outrider because he was pretty close to dying anyway. But I split my priorities, and that is not a good thing to do. So I start healing up like crazy. But I bring him IG 2000 in, and that's great for damage. I didn't get the assist, the double tap with Cad Bane, which is a frustrating piece of RNG to this fleet. They just keep healing up a little bit because of Rebel Y-Wing, and what should have been an easy finish off right away just took way longer than it should have. But we can avoid the taunt on crewless ships, so got around it. So this match should have been over already, but it's still looking pretty good for me. So I felt like I just made a boneheaded mistake, but ultimately it wasn't a super costly one. Yeah, so no sense bringing in the reinforcement. This one's in the books for the most part, and bringing in a reinforcement is just potential for more lost banners. And there we go. 71. Should have been a little bit better. And now here's where I messed up on JB, or not messed up, I just got unlucky. And you know, I hate when people cite RNG as the source of their failure, but with this, it's pretty clear. It's like, is Falcon going to assist, or is he not going to assist enough? And here he did, and then Y-Wing keeps assisting, so that was success through good RNG. And once Cad Bane's down, you pretty much feel invincible to some degree. Now switch my focus to IG-2000, hope I can take him out. And not calling in a reinforcement, just want to kill him as soon as I could. Razor Crest is always annoying because of his little savior mechanic, but these two aren't going to do as much just together. And I got the taunt off Houndstooth, which is a pleasant surprise. And unlucky dodge there, but the basic takes care of him. And I'm not sure, I might have committed all the way to the 3-man. I know people say you can do the 2-man, or maybe that's against Negotiator, I forget. But I prefer not to do that. That's a little bit too risky for my tastes. I'll get the ultimate here. Yeah, I can't get around that taunt because it's not crewless. No, it's Executor. Okay. I get my meta ships mixed up a little bit. Yeah, and we got... Okay, yeah, I brought someone in. Just working through. Missed the... Yeah, he can't heal anymore after the ultimate, so that's an easy cleanup. 71, that's, you know, what I wanted to happen in my previous match, but it just didn't work out. And it's the same lineup, and it's a little bit weaker. Like, I don't think it's as developed pilots, but still, with the assist in the earlier one, would have worked. So now this is kind of a stress-free match for me. I dropped the battle though, so I shouldn't have been as cavalier about it. But I wasn't really thinking, okay, I'm playing to the best of my ability here. I'm just trying to get matches done so I actually don't just drop from not doing battles. Because I had a long drive after the cruise when I got off. But this, you know, efficiency is important here. I don't know what Finalizer does against this fleet. Malevolence always drops just a few banners because it's got flimsy side characters like Vulture Droid. But it's definitely a safe win. And for some reason I felt really safe, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna win, he's gonna mess up somewhere. But we'll see if that's actually the case in a sec. Just one lone Cassian to take care of, who's being annoying and counterattacking. And the Buzz Droids, and that's all she wrote. 71, it's higher than I was actually expecting. But my final score was 1811. And he got 1808. I was actually watching these happen kind of later. When he actually got these battles, and he didn't drop any on land, so I got super nervous. And then he got ships. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't even set a good wall, so I'm gonna lose. I thought for sure I was gonna lose when I was watching him do this. But he dropped a battle against Negotiator and enough banners against the other two. I mean, he didn't have. I took my Meta Fleets on offense. He took his on defense. So that's all it was. It was a pretty good match for considering the time constraints I had. Um, but yeah, no, I enjoyed this one, and I'm glad that I can just sit down and do the matches again at my computer instead of putting them on my phone and transferring them and everything. But yeah, let me know what you thought. If you watched this far, thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.